The story of my Watanabe, aka Sugar Baby Riri, who scammed several men out of 155 million yen, which is about $1 million, and sold books on how to manipulate men into giving you lots of money. What's her story? Mai Watanabe was born in Nagoya, Japan. She grew up in a violent household and got bullied in school because she suffered from atopic dermatitis. And with such an unhappy childhood, she longed to be loved and needed. Now, when she was 20 years old, she worked at a cell phone store where her co-worker offered her a side gig at a club in Japan as a host. It was in this club that she would transform from a low-class worker to a high-class sugar baby. And I guess she did a great job because the host of the club offered her a job as a sales assistant. Her job was to help the host get more sales and become the top salesperson at the club. And it was there that a fire had been lit inside her. Finally, someone who needed her. She said working this job gave her purpose in her life, end quote. The goal of my host became my goal. I wanted to be the person who could be the most helpful to someone. Mai Watanabe quit her job and started working in fuzoku, which is a Japanese term for sex-related businesses. And she did that to make money for the host. She then discovered that she could get more money from this man by being a perfect picture of a damsel in distress. She would put on these sob stories that would make these men feel so bad for her that they just gave her more money. And this went on for years until she was 22. She met another host in another club in the area and she was enchanted. His name was Hiroshi Tanaka and he was not like other men. She saw him and thought that this man would change her life. So she started working for him and she made money, millions, for this man and helped him rank up in the club. So after years of working this job, she was now a seasoned papakatsu master and she figured that she could teach other women on how to do it too. She went ahead and wrote manuals on how to manipulate men into giving you money and sold it to her followers on social media. Textbook for sugar babies, the right profile and magical words to make men pay. That's the name of one of the books. These books went into great detail about the right way to approach vulnerable, middle-aged men and get as much money from them as possible. She taught readers on how to tell their sugar daddies sad stories like having a horrible childhood, bad health, that they couldn't pay their rent, stories that would gain sympathy from these men and open their pockets. For example, she told this 50-year-old man that she had to borrow money from an acquaintance to open her own apparel shop and she was going to have to sell her body at a brothel to pay them back. And this man felt so bad for her that he gave her 27 million yen, which is approximately more than $180,000. And another man, a 54-year-old man who claimed to have transferred a total of roughly 117 million yen, which is about $780,000. to Riri the sugar baby. I don't know for what reason, what story she came up with, but clearly, sugar baby Riri got game. She almost got $1 million from just 2 men. Can you imagine how much more she got? Watanabe started selling these manuals for prices between 10,000 yen to 20,000 yen, which is about $65 to $135, with private lessons available for an additional fee. And she managed to sell around 2,000 copies of her books before being arrested. Now, how did she get caught? Well, one of her customers, a 20-year-old woman, got arrested for defrauding a total of 10 million yen, which is about $72,000 from 2 men. When she was questioned, Watanabe and her books came up and she said that she followed the instructions of that book to get money from these men. So Watanabe was arrested and when questioned, she admitted to the allegations, saying she knew that she was helping her customers commit fraud and that she was destroying people's lives, and that she once overdosed on prescription drugs to escape what she had become. Now, both her and Tanaka were arrested for fraudulent practices, and Mai Watanabe was sentenced to 9 years in prison and ordered to pay 8 million yen in fines. The court said that Watanabe's method of repeatedly defrauding the victims by making them fall in love with her was a cunning crime that took advantage of their goodwill, and that the consequences were serious because some of the victims almost lost all their assets. I mean, $700,000, that is a lot of money. Some people may ask, if you're exchanging money for sex, are you really the victim? You know what you're getting yourself into. But Mai was not simply selling sex. She was getting these lonely men emotionally attached making them feel like they have something genuine going on, making them invest in her, huge investments. $700,000. And taking off with their assets. I mean, that's pretty cold.